Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have even more good news today. For today, it was announced on the Warships Discord that 14.9, on top of bringing us the anniversary event for the United States Navy, which we can get the Tier 8 Premium American Cruiser Bridgeport for free, and of course continuing on the already ongoing 10th anniversary festivities and free stuff, we are getting another coal ship in 14.9 as well. Which, in my opinion, getting a new coal ship is an excellent thing pretty much regardless. However, there is a little bit of controversy with this one, as it is the Tier 10 British cruiser, the Defense, that is being released for coal in update 14.9, which is the next update, the October update. So what even is the Defense? Why is there some controversy surrounding its coal release? And should it be something that you're looking to pick up? We're going to answer all that in today's video. So if you wouldn't mind going down below, dropping a like, leaving a comment, and subscribing to the channel, I would greatly appreciate it. That tremendously helps out, so much so on the YouTube side of things. And of course, we talk about Warships every single day here on the channel, talking about news like this and other content around the game. So if you want more of that, hit that subscribe button down below. But anyway, the Defense, what the heck is it? So the Defense is a ship that was released all the way back in the strange year of 2023. It was part of the Christmas event that was going on at the end of the year. And it was part of the Salvage for Victory event that gave us the Kitakami. The Defense was, you see, the last ship that you would get before you had to dump down an absolute insane amount of coal, credits, steel, and doubloons to get the Kitakami. Now, don't get me wrong, while it was the halfway point in the Salvage for Victory event, you'd already had to be given up a ton of resources in that event in order to get the Kitakami. Like most veteran players were clearing out their storehouses in order to get the Kitakami. And of course, while, yeah, you had to clear all of it out to get the Kitakami, you still had to empty a very good amount of your resources in order to acquire the Defense, which is why some players weren't too happy about her being released for coal.
Something wrong?
As coal is a fairly easy resource to obtain in-game, it's not like steel where you have to go play clan battles, absolutely smash your head against the wall in ranked, or throw several $100s at a dockyard in order to get it. Coal is a resource that you can obtain by really just logging in. Playing 3 matches will get you at least 3 coal containers every day if you select the more coal option on your daily containers. Then, of course, by playing the game and just taking part in certain events and the event pass and such, and sometimes they give coal out for some of the most random events at times. It's a pretty common resource is what I'm getting at. It's not hard to obtain. So for all the players that, of course, through a ton of steel credits and coal at the event to get ships like the Defense, some were a little salty about that. However, in my opinion, they did state, Wargaming did state, that these ships were going to be released in the future. And to be fair, if you got your Defense in the Salvage for Victory event, you've had 2 years to play it and be one of the few players that actually has a Defense in game, which I think, a 2-year period where you and a handful of other players that coughed up, a mountain of resource for these for this ship and more. Yeah, you were the only one selling around with it. That's plenty enough time of having, your own exclusive early access period to the Defense. So I don't think that's really too much of an issue. I think some people may be overblowing it, but yeah. So anyway, with that out of the way, of course, with the new rarity system, the Defense 2 isn't going to be overly cheap. So the Defense currently in-game, unless they reclassify it, which I doubt they will, is currently an epic level ship. Which means, since it is a tier 10 epic level coal ship, it's going to cost 415,000 coal. Which is a lot. So, for reference, normal coal ships at this level cost a mere 260,000 coal. So the fact that she is an epic ship, yeah, that's another almost 200,000 coal on top of the base price for a normal coal ship. So It's not like she's being given away for free or anything like that. Like that's still probably for your average Joe over half a year of grinding coal in order to get the ship. So I think that's enough to quiet down the people that are complaining that they threw a ton of resources at the game to get the ship in the first place. I think that's fine. Anyway, so what is the defense? The defense is, I could say this pretty safely, she's a fairly unique cruiser in game. She's got that all forward of the superstructure turret layout that, as far as cruisers go, it's what her and Nottingham that have this layout. Oh, and of course the Frenchies, the French battle cruisers have this setup as well. So that's what, 5 cruisers that have this setup as of the time that this video is being recorded. So pretty unique gun setup. But unlike the Nottingham, which has 8-inch guns, the Defense has 14-inch guns. If you haven't noticed, she has 6 of the King George V dual 14-inch gun turrets strapped to her forward deck. And they have very, very good accuracy. A way to describe the Defense is that it's like the Siegfried and the Sevastopol, where they have, true battleship caliber guns bolted to their deck in small numbers but with a high degree of accuracy. That's what you're getting here with the Defense. And she does also get the British BB HE as well. So you've got accurate 14-inch shells with British battleship HE. With the build that I'm running on my Defense, I have a 47% fire chance, which is absurd with how accurate these guns are. And if you take the reload module, you have like a 16-second reload, which is also completely friggin' nuts that you get this level of reload out of 14-inch guns that are strapped to a cruiser. So that's nice. She also has the hull torpedoes that we got with the British battle cruiser line. So you've got the little turning torpedo mechanics that like the Renown and such has, which is very nice to have on a cruiser. You get a standard hill, not a super hill though, with of course the famous British cruiser armor. So, like every single other British cruiser in the game, if you slip up and something finds your citadel, you're losing a good chunk of your HP. But unlike the British cruisers, you don't get any type of improved or super heal with the Defense. So that's a little, it's a little monkey wrench in the machine there with the Defense. But you do get the British destroyer smoke to kind of help you disengage if things get a little bit too spicy, and you have hydroacoustic search on top of all of that. So it's a pretty good little package in my humble opinion. It's very, very satisfying when it works. And the way it's played, at least the way I've had pretty good success with it being played, is kind of counterintuitive to the way that you might think it's played. Because like the Sevastopol and the Siegfried, those are more medium to long range cruisers. The Defense, I've had a lot of success playing it from more mid-range, because you see the thing is, well, you have the 14-inch guns, and yes, you have the British battleship HE and the good reload time and all of that. The AP is fan-friggin-tastic for absolutely clapping cruisers that think they're safe. They slip up, they show a little bit of broadside or enough to, to where the shells can bite into them. Then now you're getting citadels, or you're just chunking the ever-living crap out of whatever it is that you're shooting at. Like even broadside battleships, like these are still 6 14-inch shells with a very, very high degree of accuracy on top of them going into your side armor. Sure, it might not delete you, but you're losing 16, 17, 18k in HP if it doesn't citadel you, right, in just pure pins. So that's pretty nasty to go up against. Keep in mind, too, you do have hydro, and you do have those torpedoes. Now, granted, the torpedoes do out to, I believe it's like 10 kilometers, so you can do a little bit of tomfoolery with them if you're having to kite or something, which the Defense is also pretty good at that, too. Like, if you're not able to use island cover, hop in and out of islands and bully cruisers and such, it's not a bad kiter at all, of course, with the British battleship HE, which that's pretty much what's going on in the background footage. Our flank absolutely folds, so I'm forced to kind of run away and just, spam some HE for a good chunk of the match. You do eventually get to, kind of turn back around and be a little bit more aggressive with the Defense toward the end game. But like for a cruiser that's got all of its turrets in front of the superstructure, and you obviously can't, just sit and let your rear turrets do anything because you don't have any rear turrets, it's not that bad for kiting and, annoying the hell out of the enemy team because you're setting a fire on a pretty good basis, because again, 47% fire chance with a 16-second reload, that's going to do things. So it's a pretty solid ship all the way around, in my opinion. Of course, you do have to keep in mind that you don't really have the best armor, and at the end of the day, you are still a cruiser no matter how much this thing looks like a Nelson. So obviously, if you run to something with some pretty nasty AP that can overmatch your balanced stern armor, which obviously isn't hard to come by tier 10 standards, or in tier 10 matchmaking, I should say, yeah, you got to be very mindful about that. But again, you have the destroyer exhaust smoke, the destroyer smoke screen to fall back on to break line of sight. Obviously, I would highly recommend playing it from island cover, hopping from island to island, staying at medium-ish range, focusing on the cruisers and such. It's not bad for dealing with destroyers either, from again more medium range, because 6 14-inch HE shells to the face hurts. Now, it does of course have to deal with the battleship caliber gun damage ratio versus destroyers, so you won't be snapping them completely out of existence with one salvo, but you will definitely be taking a nice chunk of their HP and probably most of their modules with them every salvo that you hit a destroyer with this HE, which is obviously very, very nice indeed. So, like, it's a good ship if you've played British cruisers and you want something with a little bit more oomph on it. Now, the question, of course, is it worth 415,000 coal? Well, there's a couple things when it comes to that. If you like what you see in the background footage, you like what I've described to you, which, a flexible cruiser with large caliber guns that you can play at medium range or longer range with the HE or the AP. Oh, the AP is still quite floaty too, because it's, the British battleship AP, obviously. So it does feel like at range, they have like parachutes connected to the shells, which again, I say play at more at medium range if you can. But yeah, if you like the sound of that and you like what you're seeing in the background and such, and you can deal or work with the British cruiser armor, yeah, it's probably a pretty good pickup. It's a coal ship, so it's free. I know some people say, well, your time isn't free, but like, you are playing the game, right? Like, you're playing the game anyway. You're probably earning coal anyway, so yeah. But yeah, I think it's a pretty solid choice if, it ticks all the boxes for you. But it's not something I would say, oh my god, this is coming back, go get it right now before, it gets rotated out of here in a couple of patches. It's not that good. Like, it's a pretty funny ship, a cruiser with accurate 14-inch guns, with British BBHE and the torpedoes and the smoke and stuff. That's a pretty goofy dude, right? But this isn't something that's, you're not going to be able to walk over the enemy team with this ship, right? I mean, I guess if you're really good at it, you can, but it's not like, the Stalingrad, where it's like, okay, you get enough steel to get a still ship, make sure you pick up a Stalingrad. This is, if you like the Siegfried and the Sevastopol kind of play style, this will probably fit in pretty well with you if you're wanting maybe a little bit more of a medium range version of that. But again, just be mindful that British cruiser armor, yeah, the cost of having accurate 14-inch guns comes at a high price, right? So, like, it's a good ship, and again, if you liked what you saw in the background and the playstyle of the ship, I think you'll enjoy it. And I know a good chunk of you have more than enough coal to get this thing, because when we talked about, where the hell are coal ships not that long ago, quite a few of you were like, yeah, I got like 2 million coal and like nothing to get with it. So there's a good chance this probably won't even put that big of a dent in some of your coal reserves. So if that's the case, I'd say absolutely pick it up. It's a nice fun ship to have every now and then to break out when you're feeling something a little bit different. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on the defense, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Hope you guys enjoy. If you did, make sure to drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, all of that jazz. Hope you guys have a great Tuesday and a wonderful rest of your week. Hope to catch you guys in the next one.